All right, we got a 2012 Acadia. Simply put, I'm jump right into it. I need to change the high pressure fuel pump. I'm gonna start off by pulling off this air box. You probably don't have to pull this whole thing off, but I'm gonna pull it off anyway, just for space and recording. T25. I gotta pull all those. Take this off, this wobble extension. Pull these whole things. Gotta pull the screws all the way out though. Car's pretty much got a check engine light. Push that. Okay. These normally slide out because they get old. This is leaking anyway. It's not broken. It's just the rubber connector that it connects to is worn out. Right there. I gotta replace this purge valve because it's leaking. So I got that on its way. Still just want to replace this just for space. I don't know if that. Back over here. So here's my delivery. Sorry, I made it this far. Look like I need to take this 110 out. Normally, like, manufacturer's not going to leave this one fastener or bolt. Let's see what happens. Oh shoot! Wow. Try this out. Cool. The directions do state I need to take off the coolant, the thermostat housing. Let me see if I can get away from that. So the objective is to get this out without having to take that coolant line off, the thermostat housing. So we're gonna try to achieve this goal. I'm gonna drain the high pressure fuel line. This is a 17. Let's crack it just a little bit. So this is the side that goes to the high pressure fuel rail. I'm just gonna crack it ever so slightly, let it bleed off. You're supposed to ditch this and replace it, but I've never had any issues leaving them in there. There's a little line up here. It's 15 millimeter. This does have a little bit of Loctite on it. That's that. I think I could probably get away with just having that out the way. Then there's 10 millimeters here. Feel like I don't know what let's see. Feel like that pressure sensor may wind up coming in contact with that pipe there if I pull it straight back. So I'm gonna take my chances. It's got like a small gap right here. We'll see. I'm gonna try it first without it, and if I have to remove it, then I'll drain the coolant and get it out. See what I can get back there. Well, this is a little long. It looks like it's possible to get it out, but getting it back in is going to be a different story. Oh man, let's see what I can. I can't see nothing. I can't see. shit, it came out. Be a good time to inspect the follower. Make sure that's not damaged. This does have an indicator on it where it has to go in a specific orientation. Put that back and it just fall right on the place. I did get the Bosch product off of rockauto.com. I'll have to give you a part number later. But here's the new gasket it came with. It comes with new bolts, O-ring. And obviously it's a monolith with the pressure sensor. Here's the old one. They're identical. So I'll put a little bit of oil on the O-ring here. Make sure the gasket is positioned properly. There's a little tab up there. We're going to install in reverse order. Now, no, I'm gonna have to fight with the bottom one, and that's kind of expected. But I'm gonna put it in reverse order to get the top one lined up first, and then I'll use the bottom to guide me in. If it's pushing out and you don't have adequate room to start the threads, then you're gonna have to rotate the engine over a little bit to where that cam is on a flat spot versus a protruding lobe. So, but we don't have that issue. Let's get installed. So I got the thread started. Just now I need to start working them in there and just get the pump to sit flush. I'm gonna have to get my fine-tune ratchet. If I have any tough spots, then I should be able to get that to fill those voids of incrementally rotating this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get it. Oh, this is my knuckle buster one. One integral thing, just make sure this is sitting flush. If you're gonna reuse this, that bulb crushes, and that is what gives it its sealing capabilities. Like I said, I've never had one fail by reusing it, but I have had one leak because I installed it improperly. It was kind of cocked a little bit. Just to be straight up with you. So this right here needs to be tight. That could happen if if they're not sitting flush. It'll leak. Didn't have to drain that coolant, so that was the big thing. You can put the intake on here, let it run, and make sure that it's not leaking out from these connectors. That's what I'm gonna do after my brake cleaner dries up. You know, one thing I forgot, it will not start up properly if this pressure sensor is not hooked up. Just threw in the air box and connected the mass airflow sensor. Seems to be fine here. Fan's gonna stay on because the car detects there's some issues with the mass airflow sensor. So I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with air density, engine stress, cooling capability. So that's why the fans are stuck on. I just need to clear the codes and it'll shut up. The car's off, keys out, and it's still doing it. So get this back in here. insulations to shut up the noisy sounds that high pressure fuel pump makes and those loud injectors. The more pressure is going to have to utilize more effort to open, and you get that loud ticking. That's why these cars have a lot of insulation now. I can't believe Chevy had just one bolt holding it in. It's not like manufacturers. I'm just gonna slide the intake on, intake tube and the air box, and that's it. And then I'll document just changing this EGR. I said EGR. I did not call this an EGR. The EVAP purge valve. It's just one 10 millimeter bolt down at the bottom here. Pull that out, and that's about it. All right, bonus footage. Bonus footage before we go to the original footage. That's what's gonna happen. So we're gonna change this EVAP purge valve. It's straight up leaking. It doesn't have any means of closing off and shutting up. So these are very common to fail. The car will run like crap. Don't want to start up appropriately. You'll have purge flow codes. I'm gonna show you those. We should have those in the history with a bunch of other codes, and it just pops right on out. That's that. I can show you that it's leaking. Oh shit! Oh, I got butterfingers. Let me find this. All right, we're gonna see that it's leaking. If it can't hold vacuum, it can't hold air, likely. So we're gonna see if I can focus in on that. It ain't holding vacuum. My device worked. And this unit is broken. I'm gonna put the new one up to it because its normal static state should be off. Let's get the new one. Standard product. Yay O'Reilly's. Let's see if it's a brand new one in here. Not used. What the fudge cake? What the hell did I just get? How in the world we get? This is not a. Oh, you know what? I got two things. I got a purge valve and a brake switch. Oops, my bad. My bad. Okay, this is a Dorman, high quality Dorman product. What about threw me off? I said, what in the world? Annoying. There we go. This looks like an EVAP purge valve. I gotta change the brake switch on this joker too. And they do look similar. They're the same. And let's pull this off. Let's put the new one on. Let's see if this holds. Oh, dang it. Feeling the exact same spot. All right, here we go. No magic tricks, people. It's holding vacuum. I'm expect it to be 100%. Let's throw this in here. You might want to spit on it. Let's see. I can get some more. Can't get my words out of my mouth. A little bit of oil. All right, some dielectric grease. Who needs to start threads when you got electrical driver? Starting threads for amateurs, right? Boom. Oh shit. Leave a piece of glove in there for the next person who's got to work on it. All right. That's that. So that's fixed. That's fixed. That's fixed. And I got to put a brake switch on here. But let me show you the codes, and I'm just going to conclude this video because I didn't diagnose anything. I diagnosed it a while ago, so My diagnostic was done several months ago, and it's just finally getting here. Just had some codes for the fuel pump, not the fuel pump, but the fuel pressure. It was surging and powering away. What was happening also was the desired and the actual fuel pressure wasn't being met. So it would have like this one, it would be fine over 1,000 psi, but anything over 900, under 900 or something, it will be off by a couple hundred psi. So it lost its efficiency down low. Let me show you the codes so I can document that and you can see those. And I'll show you the code for the purge valve, if assuming that it's still present, because once I disconnect it and start the car up, we're gonna have a bunch of codes. All right, so we're getting logged up in the computer. We're gonna check the engine control module, check for codes, see what's in there, and I'm gonna tell you if that is or isn't the code that I was looking at, because I know as soon as I started up with the mass airflow disconnected, I knew I was gonna have like a crap ton of codes. So yeah, ignore that. Yep, so we had this one, p0496. That's why I replaced the purge valve. Intake air temperature, sensor 2, circuit low. That's because I disconnected mass airflow. Fuel rail pressure sensor during engine cranking. That's because I started up. Intake air temperature sensor, circuit high. That's because of me. Disconnected mass airflow. System lean, mass airflow. System lean, bank 2 and 1. Mass airflow, fuel rail pressure sensor performance. Brake switch. So we did have that. That's why I'm gonna just throw a brake switch at it. Yeah, I'm shooting apart at it. Intake humidity sensor, low voltage, barometric pressure sensor. So all those are all air density related. The one, was it 191? Fuel rail pressure. No, this is because I had disconnected. The p0191, that was the code for that's the code right there. Because the old one was defective. But we didn't have a code before, I want to say, and it was so long ago. I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember. But I'm gonna document it for p0191 because now, even though I initially diagnosed the car, I swear it was the code present. But now, we got a p0191 because I did recommend that we replace the high pressure fuel pump. So that's what that's what's gonna be the title of the video, p0191. To resolve that, I'm gonna clear all these. Brake pedal switch though. That's like an intermittent code. Not sure. Like I said, I'm just gonna throw a par at it because I don't see this guy on a regular basis. Why do I do all that? Do a complete scan. Test drive it. But we did the labor time to replace that pump, the high pressure pump, was supposed to be 3 hours, something like that. Because technically you were supposed to drain the coolant. I wasn't gonna do all that. I'm like, I swear we can get around it. And we didn't have to, so which is great. Time is money. We only use a 17 wrench, 10 millimeter, and a 15 millimeter, and a flathead, and a T25 if you're gonna take out the air box like I did. Didn't take that long. I swear it took about an hour. I don't know if there's any other tips and tricks out there as far as replacing it, but it went very smooth. But if anything happens, I'll definitely update. Other than that, hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, have the reassurance of my work. See you next one.